Hello and welcome to this short reflection. A few weeks ago I met someone whom I hadn't seen for quite some time. I greeted him, as you do, with the standard words, "How are you? How are you doing?" I was expecting to receive the standard answer, the one we always give, however we're feeling. "Oh, I'm fine, thank you." In this case, that wasn't the response that I got. After a few seconds' pause, this person replied, "I'm grateful. Yes, I'm grateful." As we spoke further, it turned out that he'd been quite unwell, and there had been some other issues that had caused him some serious problems. But despite all of this, he'd made a choice to be grateful for all the good things he was still experiencing. Well, a little while ago, I read an article called "The Science of Gratitude." Psychologists had done extensive research and carried out lots of surveys and experiments, and had come to the conclusion after all of that to say thank you, or to be thanked, was extremely beneficial. Well, I think I could have saved them a lot of time and effort and money by telling them that in the first place, and by suggesting to them several texts in the Bible that they could look at. But it seems that scientific studies suggest that being grateful can improve well-being, physical health, and relationships, and can help us cope with the stressful times in our lives. Apparently, it can even outweigh the benefits of taking medication. Well, I'm reminded of the story of Jesus healing the 10 lepers. You can read it in Luke chapter 17, verses 11 to 19. You may have heard it read recently in church as the gospel reading. It's a very simple story. 10 people suffering from leprosy call out to Jesus from a distance. Their illness meant that they were excluded from society. They were unclean. They were not able to have any contact with other people or participate in worship. Their life was a pretty miserable one. Sometimes Jesus touched lepers and healed them, but on this occasion he tells them to go and show themselves to the priest. On their way, they suddenly realise that they've been made clean. They've been healed, all 10 of them. Not surprisingly, they are extremely happy and overwhelmed with joy. But one of them does something differently to the others. He returns and prostrates himself in front of Jesus and gives thanks to God. Gives thanks to God for his healing. And there was a sting in the tail for Jesus' listeners too, because he was a Samaritan. We haven't got time today in this short reflection to explore that side of the story, but as you probably know, Jews and Samaritans just didn't get on. Jesus said to him, "Your faith has made you well," or in some translations, "Your faith has saved you." The 10th leper, the one who returned and said thank you, received much, much more than the other 9. He didn't only receive physical healing, he received spiritual healing too. He found peace with God. He found wholeness. He found salvation. Being thankful is a thread which runs through the whole Bible. Our attention is always being drawn to people who gave thanks, either to God or to those around them. Jesus was always giving thanks in a variety of different circumstances, and St. Paul is always encouraging his readers to be grateful. So we need to take this seriously too. Even when life seems hard and we're faced with issues and problems that get us down, it's important to make a choice to give thanks for those blessings which we still enjoy, despite everything else. Martin Luther, that great religious leader of the Reformation period, was once asked to describe the nature of true worship. His answer? "True worship," he said, "is like the 10th leper turning back to praise, prostrate, and give thanks." So, how are you? Perhaps your answer might be, "I'm grateful." Thank you for listening, and may the Lord bless you.